got the answers. I change the question.
Rep screwed rep.
Yeah. Woo!
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Can he do it? Unbelievable.
Too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am Macho King Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. I said WWE stands for. It's me, Austin. I will never retire.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. Are you sick and tired of dropping a ton of cash every year on the latest and greatest wrestling video game? Stop immediately. Go to Wrestler Unstoppable, available totally free. All you got to do is go to app.wrestlerunstoppable.com. Sorry for the little fumble there. And you can log in, create an account, totally free, create a wrestler, sign contracts, get in the storylines, headline PLEs, create a company, everything. All included, totally free. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shoutouts like John down in Texas, then you got to pop over to patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today. This month only, special pricing on loyalty rewards. If you do $10 a month, you're guaranteed to host a show with me. $5 a month, you get to be entered into a drawing to also have a chance to host a show with myself. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you've got questions or comments or anything you want me to touch on in the future episode, pop over to the Pro Wrestling Sound Off line, 267-642-1160, and I will get to those questions or comments in a future episode. Tonight, Saturday night's main event just went off the air. Lots of things to talk about. We're going to go through the whole card and a few other tidbits that have come up today. And what an interesting evening. A lot of things going on that were phenomenal. Some things that I don't necessarily think were necessary, and some things that provided some humor that made the evening really special. Before we get to the Saturday night's main event, I got to start with the big announcement from WWE. We've wondered what they were going to do with, WrestleMania 43 going to Saudi Arabia next year. What are they going to do here in the States for the U.S. fans who aren't going to travel to Saudi Arabia? Well, the answer was given to us tonight. In New York City, there will be a fan fest during WrestleMania 43. So after the matches end in Saudi Arabia, you could then go to the Madison Square Garden, has this other amphitheater, and you're going to go there and they're going to offer AAA Eternal Glory, which is going to be one of their streaming shows. It'll be one of their pay-per-view PLE quality shows. And then following that up with NXT Stand and Deliver. So the idea would be WWE wants you to, be able to still partake in some festivities, WrestleMania fan experiences, things like that, and also get to see some in-person live amazing wrestling action following what is always an earlier, usually late morning, early afternoon showing for WrestleMania. Interesting way to play that. I think Tony Khan better jump on the opportunity to counter-program that. Could put on a huge show to really give WWE a run for money. Heck, they do it to them all the time. I think this is a perfect opportunity for Tony Khan to do something, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Let's get into what happened tonight. We had a lot to look at. First off, there was a match that was not even announced. They had almost like a pre-show where they had Trick Williams face Laredo Kid. Solid match. I love that Laredo Kid is getting on WWE television and getting an opportunity to be showcased. Saturday night's main event is a big deal. There's a lot of eyes that go onto that show normally when it was on network television. Now, tonight, I'm going to be very honest with you. I got rid of my Peacock subscription because the only reason I ever got it was for WWE programming, and 99.5% of the programming went elsewhere. So tonight, as it hit me, I was like, shoot, I have no idea how I'm going to watch this tonight. I even tried to use my VPN to make it look like I was in the UK or Bangladesh or something like that, and tried to get that to work, and it right away flagged me and said, you're using a VPN, turn it off, or whatever. So I couldn't watch it live. So instead, I went on X. And I just kept refreshing WWE's page and getting their highlights. That was the only thing I could think to do. And I still got to see a ton of action. I hope that as many people are watching as you typically do to see things like Trick Williams, who, as much as a big star as he is for WWE regulars, there's a lot of people who aren't normal wrestling fans who would tune in for something special like this, who get to see him and somebody like Laredo Kid. When we get into the main card, we have Fatal Influence taking on Paige and Brie Bella for the Women's Tag Team Championship. And I think this didn't go down the way I thought it was. I actually thought there'd be more action after the match was over. But we do see Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed, with some help from JC Jane at the end of the match and some serious pulling of the tights, defeat Paige and Brie Bella to win the Women's Tag Team Championship. I did think that was going to happen, but I really thought that Nikki Bella was going to make an appearance and Nikki and Brie were going to turn on Paige. However, hindsight's always 20/20. Now that they didn't do that, I was thinking, why wouldn't they do that? And two things are possible. One, Nikki may not be cleared yet, or just may not be physically capable enough to do something physical right now of any kind. And the other thought process would be that maybe this is why JC Jane didn't win the qualifying match for the Women's Interim World WWE Championship ladder match. And that would be so that she could be in a 6-woman tag team match. So it would be Fatal Influence, JC Jane, Fallon Henley, Lainey Reed taking on Paige, Nikki, and Brie. And that's where if they lose, they could turn on Paige, and it would lead to hopefully sometime in a big PLE, a tag team match with AJ Lee and Paige teaming up to take on the Bellas, which I've been championing the cause for quite a while now. From there, we go in, we have a Oba Femi promo that, I'm sorry, Oba Femi is as over as it gets, but most important to me is he is shining in that spotlight, and his promo skills are on point. Sometimes there's some repetitive nature to some of the things he says, but it never comes off as offensive. It's exciting because he's exciting. So love the promo, and he said something to the effect of, he's not the one getting locked in a cage with Brock. Brock's getting locked in a cage with him. And I loved it. I thought it was a great line, great promo, good for Oba. And then we go to what for me was kind of a throwaway, but I'll take it. It was hilarious. Danhausen facing JD McDonough. It's a no DQ match. What I found thoroughly hilarious was the influx of two things. One, as I said on the prediction show, I just knew we were going to see Mini-Hausens in this. And we did. We got to see, I think it was 3 Mini-Hausens. But seeing Carl Anthony Towns appear, that was hilarious. And I'm just being real. He put on 2 of the best choke slams I've seen in years. I mean, that dude's taller than tall to begin with. And he hit, the one he did on McDonough was straight up one of the best choke slams I have ever seen in professional wrestling. Following it up with putting Dom through the table with the second one. What an awesome moment to see. I loved every bit of this. From there, we get Lyra Valkyria taking on Bayley. And Lyra, man, I saw somebody post on X, she's starting to really freak people out with her presentation. I love it. It's a totally different character than what she was doing before. I hope at some point in her career she goes back to being the babyface, but for now, this is working. Here's my thought process, though. She defeats Bayley. She puts her in a bulldog choke and ends up picking up the win. She actually got busted open at some point, and I saw immediate reports online saying that was not part of the thing. That was a busted open the hard way, and that it worked so well with how weird and strange her new character is. So that was solid. And then she does a full-on beatdown after the match and hits her move on Bayley on the steps and everything. I feel like this is either their attempt to write Bayley off television and say, goodbye. Basically, Bayley's contract, apparently, according to a report today, is up in 3 months. You put that 3 months plus the 90-day no-compete clause, puts you right around the time frame to build the AEW dynasty, which is what Mercedes Moné, kind of teased a few weeks back. So I think WWE might be getting to that point. We're going to make Lyra by having her beat Bayley, and now she can move on and be a bigger star. And Bayley, maybe this is where she fades away if she is actually going to go to AEW. What a loss for WWE if that does happen. I get it, though. You want to be with your friends. You want to spend some time. Mercedes is locked in for a long time to AEW. And I don't know how long Bayley wants to continue wrestling. I've heard various reports that she may want to leave sooner than later. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Then we get to the big one, the main event. Cody Rhodes, CM Punk taking on Gunther and Sami Zayn. The match was actually pretty physical, pretty solid. I love there was a down spot where all 4 men were down. I always hate it when they all hit finishers and then everybody goes down, though, because, there's one part where, like, Gunther hits a clothesline on Cody and he picks up Punk. He goes to hit him with him, and Punk picks him up, puts him into the GTS, and just collapses on the mat. Like, if you had all the strength and everything to do that, I always hate the phrase like, oh, he spent all his energy hitting that move. You picked up a 260-pound guy on your shoulders and dropped him on his face, and then you just pass out. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, especially anybody who's ever been in a physical encounter. But there was a lot of physicality in the match. It was solid. I don't know where we go with Sami Zayn after this, because at the end of the match, as predicted, Nick Aldis appears. And when it looks for certain that Gunther, he uses the championship belt to take out Cody, and then he's going to beat Cody, and here comes Nick Aldis, pulling the referee out of the ring, taking the championship belt, hitting Gunther with it, setting up the pin. Punk came into the ring, drug Cody over on top of Gunther. They get the win, so it'll be Punk and Cody in a singles match at SummerSlam. Gunther obviously will be facing Aldis now. It's been speculated for weeks, but now this should be all we need to make that official. But where do we go with Sami Zayn? And I don't know, and I feel horrible that a guy who literally only a couple weeks ago was World Heavyweight Champion is now in like limbo, and we have no idea what to do with him. Is this a catalyst to bringing Kevin Owens back? Will he wander and be confused and lost and not know what to do with himself, and suddenly Owens comes back and help him refocus his energy? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I did think it was interesting at the end of the match to doing a celebration, and Cody picks up and lifts up Punk's arm. And I don't know if you watch this close, but at one point Punk flips the belt strap over his shoulder and smacks Cody in the face and just kind of walks off and leaves Cody in the ring. It's a little tease for that physicality that you need to have heading into a SummerSlam main event. But it was definitely good stuff. I appreciated all of it. From there we get into, I said earlier, there was some stuff that was just, I could have done without. I get why they do it, but I could have done without. And that is Roman Reigns going to come to the ring, and he's not coming alone. Jalen Brunson is coming with him. And as they are coming out, they play the music. Everybody in the back is celebrating. Karl Anthony Towns back there. They're all celebrating. They go to the ring. There's a little bit of, celebration about the Knicks winning the World Championship of the NBA. Roman ends up giving him a custom WWE World Heavyweight Championship belt for the Knicks for their championship. And as they're doing that, Seth Rollins' music hits. And Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers walks out to Seth's music and puts on just enough distraction that Seth Rollins slides in from behind and attacks Roman Reigns. Now, here's what I thought. When I said there was stuff I could have done without, I could have done without all of this NBA star interference for a couple reasons. One, when Rollins attacks Roman, he's pummeling him on the ground, and as that's happening, your Jalen Brunson's just standing there watching it go down. It's not until Rollins puts the chair down and he's going to do the stomp through the chair that all of a sudden Jalen Brunson steps in front of him. It doesn't make sense to me. If you're that much of a Roman guy, you would have jumped in and helped him out as soon as Seth attacked him. The flip side of that is also too, Tyrese Halliburton is on the outside of the ring. A few years ago, the Pacers knocked the Knicks out of the playoffs, so that's why there's some beef there. When Seth Rollins is in peril, he does nothing to help him. Now, I understand contractually and NBA contracts, all that you don't want to get physical, take a chance of getting hurt. I get all that. Then don't do it. Don't have them get in the ring if they're not going to do something in the ring. It didn't work for me. Just seemed hokey. The stuff with Karl Anthony Towns, do that all day, every day. That was phenomenal, legit physicality, and it all made sense. I love when he stepped over the top rope. That was insane. That's how tall that guy is. But, all in all, solid show. I actually enjoyed quite a bit of this. We definitely furthered a lot of storyline stuff for SummerSlam. Going to have to wait and see how that all shakes out. Obviously, the big thing for me, because I was a massive Magnus fan in TNA when he was world champion. Then I was a fan of his when he just went to being by his government name, Nick Aldis, in the NWA as NWA champion. If you're a fan of this channel, this YouTube channel, you know that I did an interview with Nick Aldis that's available right now in my interview series on YouTube. I'm a huge fan on a personal level. I mean, the guy is wonderful. We got along so well. So I love seeing him get back in the ring. I think they've been waiting to do this for a long time, and I'm glad to see him finally get that opportunity against one of the best, if not the best in the business. So that was a highlight for me. The low stuff, I really don't want to see Bayley go away. I really don't. And all that. But otherwise, I thought a lot of this was really good. I love that a Laredo kid got TV time. So, I don't know. If I was looking at this, this is a very, very solid, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 100 as a school teacher in my day job, I give this like a solid 90%. I really do. This was a very good Saturday night's main event. For those people who like, oh, we could have more matches or more action. If you go back and look at Saturday night's main event way back in the 80s, this is exactly the formulaic approach that they took to it. A few matches, all consequential, good stuff. Top to bottom, I was pretty happy with this. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode. Run down the latest wrestling news, rumors. Special thanks, as always, go out to Suno for creating music and sound effects we use in our show. If you want to bring a new friend to family game night, it's easy with a game called Sketchy People. Grab your copy of Sketchy People by going to thegamecrafter.com and pick up your copy today. If you're looking for your next career move, college, university life, maybe you're just trying to get some formal training, stop by my website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life educational planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking some time with us today. Until next time, take care, everybody. Have a great night.